Hello everybody, welcome to our channel University of Political Science. Today we discuss about types of foreign policy and science. These very important topics in the political science and international relation and foreign affairs in this country. The nation formulated its foreign policy keeping in view its various national interest and objective. In formulation, general, internal and external determinants also play varying degree of role. Under the influence of this foreign policy, factor of foreign policy takes different forms and shapes in different countries. This article discussing about types of foreign policy, only for types of foreign policy. In other words, different countries have different approach and inclination toward international relations. Accordingly, they make different foreign policy choice. For example, some states practice in international relations more actively, whereas others perfect to be intent or isolated owing to their international problem or other reasons. Few may choose to persist on a neutral path in foreign affairs, while others may prefer to be non-aligned. Several ambitious states may have an inclination toward expansion up to empire building, whereas others may be to continue with the status quo. Some aggressive states may adopt a policy of confrontation, while peace-loving states may go in for a policy of peaceful coexistence. At times, powerful states choose a nationalistic universal policy. Various type or kind of foreign policy are the outcome of this choice. Policy of imperialism. Many powerful and ambitious nations tend to dominate and rule over others. For long, imperialism has remained a powerful instrument of forcing the promoting national interest. Imperialism has long been employed as a foreign policy choice by several European powers, and in novel and indirect form, it is still the choice of many powerful nations. Human history reveals that the tendency to dominate over other has been manifested in one from or the other in different periods. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Bismarck, Hitler, etc. had endeavored for empire building and thus adopted a policy of expansion. Meaning, the term imperialism has been used in a subjective and arbitrary manner. The use of the term so it arbitrary that it doesn't relate it to its real nature, whatever the policy of a country is imperialist or not, but any type of foreign policy followed by its opponents is sometimes doubt is imperialism. The communist call the foreign policy of the Western power is imperialistic. Anti-communist gave the same name of communist, while uncommitted nation termed both communist and capitalist are imperialism. Different scholars have different imperialism differently in their own way. That is why Palmer and Perkins observe imperialism can be discussed, recognized, defended and dated for, but it cannot be defined in any general acceptable way. However, some of its important definitions are as follows. Imperialism is a policy which aims at creating organization and maintaining an empire, says Mortis Julius Bond in A Word of Charles. A great imperialism is employment of engines of government and diplomacy to acquire territories, protectors, and worshipers or influence occupied usually by other races or people, and the promoted industrial, trade, and investment opportunity. On the other hand, Parker Timon observed imperialism means dominance of non-European native races by totally dissimilar European nation. Morganthau defined its altogether in terms of the explanation of state of power behind its border. Marxists like Lenin hold imperialism purely economic term and regarded as the highest test of capitalism. Imperialism is closely related with colonialism, but Trump referred to the surprise, inferior or rulers-ruler relationship. Motive. The motive of imperialism are economic gains such as control of competition fee, market, source, raw material, and capital investment in various virgin land. Another motive is the enhancement of national prestige and glory by acquiring vast colonial empire. It also serves the purpose of extreme nationalism and national defense. Colonies were also conquered to settle surplus and population there. The policy of imperialism has also forced us to the spirit of particular religion. Culture or ideology advances Western societies attributed other move to imperialism. Supplement of list coordinate and for yellow means Asia and black means Africa. The content that was white men burdened to carry the good thing of their own religion and civilization of backward people of Asia, Africa and Latin America. Method. Several methods were employed to successfully implement the policy of imperialism, such as military intervention and worse economic method like exploring the foreign market or for sale or finished product and purchase of raw material and cheap labor. Means of economic investment and economic assessment are also employed through cultural method. Imperialism state conquer the mind of men of other nation and are able to impose their religion, culture and political ideology. This method is regarded for more superior to military victory and economic masteries. Christian missionaries and Soviet and Chinese communists employed its method. Imperialism in practice. It was Great Britain that purposed the policy later the spirit of a long period British imperialism but in worldwide 10th class. It is the usually said sun never set over the British Empire by 1914. The British Empire, despite the fact this is surfeit may set back, it's continued to be the world's largest and richest empire. Francis as the second largest empire in Africa and Southeast Asia. Germany under Bismarck between 1884 and 90 acquired Togland, Comoros, Southwest Africa, German East Africa, the leasehold of Kaiso and extensive economic rights in Shantung Peninsula in China. And separate groups of the island of the Pacific, like Germany, Italy was also latecomer. Third, not much strong, occupied the three colonies in Africa, Eritrea, and the Red Sea, Italy and Somalia, and Libya and North Africa. Japan began her career as imperialist in 1894. She extended Formosa and Ryukyu Island from China, absorbed Korea in 1910. She also acquired after defeating Russia in 1995. Southern Sheklana, leasehold import, Arthur and limited Russia influence from Korea and Southern Manchuria. Russian imperialism had its own characteristics. It represented the spreading over a continuous territory of land-hungry, aggressive population. She wanted a creation of a new area, not permanent colony. But she felt influence in Prussia, Manchuria and Mongolia, Spain, Holland and Portugal also had their colony in Latin America, Africa and Asia representatively. It is so worth mentioning the world as British, France, German, Dutch imperialism rejected. The imperialism one of the Soviet Union expanded after the Second World War to whole of the East European part of Asia. The US imperialism is divided into three parts: continual expansion, overseas expansion, and intervention. Her continual imperialism was the short-lived. Most of the acquired territories were purchased, followed by political equality. The observed expansion made through various processes. Alaska and Virgin Islands were purchased. The Hawaii Island and the Canal Zone were acquired almost voluntarily. Puerto Rico and other Philippine necessities were considered in 1395. The Panama Canal Zone was licensed for building cannot have different commerces. Except Philippines, all other still political subordinate. Yet intervention on Western issue at the regard to defense, imperialism, the modern. The Monroe Doctrine and Truman Doctrine were its example. Critical evaluation. Imperialism had its merit and demerit. Those who speak in favor of its assert that it has been inborn in smash estate prohibited to be the mutual benefit to both and master country and the colonies. For example, it promoted political unity, economic development, training for self-government, spared for general and technical education, creation of infrastructure, and promotion of investment. Its opponent condemned by the highlighted it is evil. For example, in the symbol of political substitution, economic exploitation, radical discrimination, and destroy the native culture and social value of the colonial people. It also provoked international law and revolts. By mid-20th century, the policy of imperialism was universally locked down upon the armed material. By the end of 19th century and the beginning of 20th, spirit of nationalism overrode the colonial and masses militated against it. After the Second World War, European imperial power lost their grip over their colony because of their execution of the five-year-long war. Immediately after the Second World War, the process of decolonization started, resulting in the decline of imperialism. Decolonization causes its impact they are being discussed in the detail in subsequent article. At this present, there is no inclination toward empire building, and its policy imperialism has lost in relevances. Policy of neocolonialism, policy of balance of power, policy of alliance practice. It is more part of foreign policy and choice. Policy of alliances, policy of non-alignment, policy of isolation is part of foreign policy and choice. Policy of neutrality, the policy of the status quo, the policy of revisionism, policy of nationalistic and universalism is the most part of the foreign policy and choice. Policy of peaceful coexistence. The peaceful coexistence policy of peaceful coexistence was first initiated by the Soviet Union during the premiership of Malekov, but it's become more clear during Khrushchev and later Brezhnev period. Subsequently, many other countries of the world also adopted the principle of peaceful coexistence in their foreign policy. Middle Kingdom complex and more. The Middle Kingdom concept of Mao, China could not gain popularity among nations, rather third world country of Asia, Africa and Latin America were attacked toward non-aligned movement. After the demise of Mao in mid-70s, his successor abandoned to the great extent. Mao foreign policy, moreover international situation has also undergone success. There is neither Cold War nor bipolarism. Instead, process of the deterrent is going to not only between the USA and Russia, but also between the USA and China, and furthermore between Russia and China. Soviet bloc has since from vegetable. The Soviet Union as a world power has disintegrated in the most Mao center of China as well as the world Middle Kingdom on set of little relevances. Thank you everybody. Thank you. Thank you.